Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at the extension. I'm kindly inviting all delegates to kindly take their seats as we prepare to start. Thank you. I'm inviting all delegates, invited guests here today to kindly take your seats. Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. Please excuse me. Good afternoon. My apologies for that slight glitch. And thank you all for making it to the Namibia University of Science and Technology. My name is Reni Munyai. I'll be the Master of Ceremony for today's event. Without much further ado, I'd want to take this opportunity to invite the Vice Chancellor of the Namibia University of Science and Technology to give his remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Director of the Ceremonies, Ms. Reni Munjai, Dr. Ida Ganji Murangi, Minister of Higher Education, Technology and Innovation in absentia, Ms. Floredna Kusera, Chairperson of NAST Council, Dr. Svenja Cruz, SASCAL Governing Board Alternate Member, Ministry of Education and Research, BMBF, Dr. Jane Olwach, Executive Director of SASCAL, Mr. Harold Koch Gucha, Director, International Center for Water Resource and Global Change. And I have a name here as well, Professor Gaben Ananu. Professor Gaben Ananu, did I get that correct? Head of the Coordination Team Climate Competence Center, DLR Project Management Agency in Germany. I recognize Mrs. Jane Chinkuzu, SASCAL Board Chairperson, Mr. Fernando Somaip, NAM Water Chief Financial Officer, Dr. Liki Erastes, MDC Managing Director with his team, Dr. Hilma Amwele, UNESCO Chair, hosted by NAST on Sustainable Water, Research for Climate Adaptation, and Saline Agriculture in Arid Environments. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the Academic and Scientific Advisory Committee guiding the Graduate Studies Program, NAST Executive Management members, dear NAST staff members, esteemed students, media partners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I welcome you all to NAST and specifically to our flagship high-tech Transfer Plaza Select, also known as HTTPS, for this very joyous occasion. Today, we mark yet another milestone at our university as we officially launch the SASCAL Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resource Management. NAST has a very long-standing and very successful partnership with SASCAL, and we are delighted to accentuate the partnership with SASCAL even further by capacitating professionals in the water sector, which is both a critical and fundamental sector for the development of our nation. NAST is particularly proud to be the pioneer implementing partner of SASCAL initiative. NAST has invested 20 million in infrastructure facilities and staff cost, in addition to the generous and much appreciated investment from the Federal Ministry of Education and Research for the period of the program. We are looking forward to working with highly reputable universities and research entities in the region, as well as the International Center for Water Resources and Global Change, local industry partner, including MTC as a platinum partner in the HTTPS. This partnership with SASCAL is set to make a noteworthy contribution to capacitating professionals in the water sector from the following two key perspectives. Firstly, through this partnership, we share a common continental vision of making African researchers and their institutions globally competitive, while contributing to the generation of knowledge for the socio-economic transformation of Africa. Secondly, through this partnership, we are able to develop a stronger research ecosystem, not only in Namibia, but also at the continental level. Moreover, this partnership enhances NAS's role in development imperatives through clusters of excellence, better contextualization, richer perspectives, and better implementation. It is important that women are included in these research collaborations. Ladies and gentlemen, students are journeying to pursue their studies up to doctoral level, a very elusive and unattainable goal due to lack of funding. Hence, financial support such as the one that has so generously been availed by SASCAL goes a long way in not only bettering the lives of the beneficiaries, but the water sector as well. This year has certainly started on a high note with many firsts. Just last month, we inaugurated the NAST Inanna campus in the northern regions of Namibia as we traverse the uncharted territories of our vast country in pursuit of ensuring access to higher education for all. Director of Ceremonies, the SGSP is purposefully housed here at the HTTPS, an ecosystem for knowledge transfer. The HTTPS, in partnership with MTC, aims to enable open accelerated innovation for local and regional impact through transdisciplinary research and transfer of specialized knowledge aligned with signature programs. The HTTPS is a space where university community can connect with industry and gain insights into recent technology trends in a mutually beneficial manner. Allow me to briefly expand on the acronym HTTPS. It is high-tech because it is centered on the most advanced and cutting-edge technologies. It is transfer because knowledge is passed on from pool of experts. It's a placer because it mimics a shopping mall where there is a heavy flow of consumer traffic who come in, purchase what they need, and then move on. This will be the same with the various partners who will be housed here for a limited period to work on specific projects and exit upon project completion. Lastly, the select refers to partners that will be exclusively selected for this concept. As a result, the university is calling upon stakeholders in the private and public sectors, local and international, to come on board and explore synergies that addresses techno-innovation in a sustainable approach. The HTTPS is essential in forming strong research clusters between global and African universities in a manner that can enable African researchers to feel better connected. To enable the ecosystem, long-term resources are needed to sustain the infrastructure. We are therefore delighted that MTC and other industry partners share this foresight. The HTTPS is not only a NAST or an MTC initiative, but it is a national project. Ladies and gentlemen, as a premier university of science and technology, we have a key focus on sustainable development. NAST has prioritized education and training in the water sector. The university offers undergraduate and postgraduate qualifications in the sustainable use of water and forest resources and land management. Today's launch is certainly a much needed addition to the groundwork that has been laid in this vital field. I wish to assure you that the SGSP will offer tailor-made short courses and specialized training to infuse new methods, practices, and tools for integrated water resource management. These will be targeted at enhancing the skills of integrated water resource management practitioners. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome indeed to NAST. I thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a speech, enlightening and shedding light in terms of what we're here to do and what NAST has to offer beyond this new cohort of students that are coming on board. But allow me, with this 1 minute, to just tell you what the SASCL Graduate Studies program is trying to achieve. It's a unique program, one of its kind, so I'm just going to echo the sentiments of the Vice Chancellor. And it's a program that is responding to the needs expressed by the SADC member states, by the SASCL countries, and even their stakeholders here in Namibia, to try and address the issues that plague not only Namibia, but all the SASCL countries. So this particular program is actually aligned not only to the SASCL science plan, but also to the regional water agenda. It has really tried to respond and to address the priorities that have been expressed by the member states. So it's quite an exciting opportunity. It's an exciting time. But without much further ado, I wanted to emphasize one component of this initiative. It has a unique mobility component where we are partnering with German institutions to ensure the excellence and the diversity we so aspire for our students to come up with solutions that are relevant and responsive to our time. I want to take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Mr. Harold Kothe, the Director for International Center for Water Resources and Global Change, to the platform to offer his remarks. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you for this nice introduction. Dear honored Minister, dear honored Vice Chancellor, dear SASCL board members, well appreciated, well acknowledged, dear SASCL Executive Director, dear Chair and members of the Academic and Scientific Advisory Committee, dear all appreciated colleagues from administrative supporting units from NAST and SASCL, and dear all talented students and dear guests, as a contracted German partner institute to this PhD program, I'm very glad and honored to be here today and to meet you in person. The restrictions of the COVID pandemic did not allow to do so in the last 2 years, where we prepared the kick-off today. This was a challenge for all of us. I especially thank all of you, what we have been constantly active and patient with each other to do so from the distance. Let me very briefly give some comments on the role of the International Center of Water Resources and Global Change. As part of the German government and permanently financed and supervised by a so-called national committee consisting of many federal German ministries and chaired under the lead of the Foreign Office, we are acting as a hinge between the German water science, German water operation and education for the UN water programs. Located at the Federal Institute of Hydrology, the National Hydrological Service, we're doing our operational work with global water databases, with research, education, and networking. We have official mandates for the WMO and for UNESCO, for UNEP and other UN entities and their scientific network called the UN Water Family. Why am I mentioning this? I want to highlight that there are great opportunities to link the PhD program together with the German Science Network into the international programs, with special emphasis, of course, to the Southern African region. Another important aspect is that research and its products have to be linked in a sustainable way to the regional, national, and local authorities to strengthen their work. Another important aspect is that research, and I have linked, sorry, I have to continue, to strengthen their work for the benefit of all users who need the products and who are dependent to reliable and permanent climate, weather, and water information. If the results of science and research do not have a real impact in the daily work of responsible agencies, the gain for the needs of society are not given. In times of climate and global changes, with still growing world population, we all have to understand how the global water cycle is and will change to deal with the limited resource of fresh water in a responsible manner in the regions. Education and capacity development is key for this, but operation too. No one can work without reliable and permanent data for the needed products. Everything has to build upon these data. Against this background, I'm really excited and motivated, and I'm looking forward to working with you together for the benefit of all. This program is a real opportunity to become a very good example for the region and for others. I wish the students and their supervisors all the best, and I can ensure that we are accompanying as good as possible. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much for such insightful remarks. I'm quite excited, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the next speaker. I've always said we have movers and shakers within our society. And the next speaker is a woman that has made her footprint known, not only within Namibia, not only within the SASCL countries, the SADC region, but globally. I'm quite honored to introduce to you Dr. Jane Ulwok, the Executive Director for the Southern Africa Science Service Center for Climate Change and Adaptive Land Management, SASCL. But before she comes up, I cannot list all her achievements, but we just want to say we acknowledge the footprint, we acknowledge the standards you've set, and we acknowledge the excellence. May you continue paving the way. We invite you to the podium, ma'am.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I feel I should just go back after everything she said. Please allow me also to acknowledge the protocol that has been observed. I don't think I can do better than the VC of NAS has done, and also my colleague from the International Center for Water Resources and Global Change. Colleagues, on behalf of SASCO, I would like to express my gratitude to the BMBF, first and foremost, for their continued funding that has enabled us to be here today. This journey with NAST has taken us such a long time. I think Dr. Metros is here. She can testify how many times we met and debated and changed our minds until this day. So this funding has really not only supported students, but has brought NAST and SASCO even closer because of the way we have taken throughout this journey. I'm also very grateful that this program has also enabled us to fund postdoctoral students. That is one thing sometimes we take for granted, but any institution without postdoctoral candidates also has weaknesses in the way they can support their students. So once again, as the program director says, we are really very excited that we are here this today. SASCO is also very grateful, of course, to the German partner who plays a very big role, as you have all heard. And without also him and his commitment and his institution, we would not be here, as we said. So this academic program, first of all, its content has been developed by the ASAC members, the Academic and Scientific Advisory Committee that are here with us today. Their role is very crucial for the success of this program, and for that I thank them very, very much. Through the efforts of ASAC, the SGSP Integrated Water Resources Management is poised to be an innovative and excellent regional program that is complemented not only by just a PhD thesis, but as already has been mentioned, by short courses that actually aimed at making sure that all students are strong on research-based information, spatial analysis, programming, and also maybe GIS and some remote sensing. But of course, we're also very grateful again. And the reason why we say it is an innovative program is because of the 3 months mobility to Germany, which offers them an opportunity to interact with senior students and also professors in this partner of ours. So this program is really a very excellent. So please allow me also that this program has come at a time when the state of water resources in terms of availability and quality are of a critical concerns to so many SADC member states. And climate change, of course, has made it worse because of the resulting droughts, and together with domestic agriculture and industrial demands, these have all actually weakened our availability of the water resources. In some parts of Africa, tensions over water scarcity is increasing, and also across the globe. And this has resulted in population displacement and sometimes refugees in African countries and in others. But we are part of the global community, and we are always looking in some way to contribute. So in order for this region to overcome these challenges, we must build a high caliber of scientists and engineers who will be able to come up with new information and technology to manage the water resources that we have. I don't think we are going to get more water resources. It's important for us to manage what we have. Our responsibility, therefore, is to use research, science, technology, innovation to transform the available water resources into clean and safe water to use. And the young people today who are getting the scholarship, this is the challenge that we are putting in your hands. We want new innovation, technology, know-how, so that we can be able to survive this scarcity of the water in our region and also worldwide. Furthermore, the world, Africa, and our region are preparing themselves to embrace other things, like the green hydrogen. And green hydrogen is putting water again at another level whereby we cannot move without water in all countries if we want green hydrogen. In our countries in SADC, desalination of the water is the only way we can move and produce green hydrogen. And therefore, our students, once again, this is another challenge for you. How can we get water in Namibia, in South Africa, to be able to actually take part in this global journey of green hydrogen production? So the UN Water has defined water scarcity as the capacity of a population to safeguard sustainable access to adequate quantities of accessible water, also for sustaining livelihood, to maintain human well-being and socio-economic development, and ensuring protection against waterborne diseases and disasters, and also preserving the ecosystem in a climate change scenarios. So my hope is that the SGSP would also contribute to this global action and the realization of Sustainable Development Goals, and in particular, Sustainable Development Goal 6. To the young scientists that are recipients of this scholarship, we have an opportunity to shape the future by insisting on innovation and creativity in your work. And I wish you all the success to this journey that you have started before. But as I conclude, once again, I acknowledge the support from BMBF. I acknowledge our partnership with NAS that has really made it happen. And of course, I acknowledge the government of Namibia that continues to give SASCO support. So colleagues, thank you very much. And I wish you all a very good afternoon. Thank you.
Colleagues, thank you so much. Another warm clap to acknowledge and appreciate Dr. Jane. There is a reason why the SGSP in Integrated Water Resources Management is housed in this space. We take pride in innovation. And our next speaker might not be physically present, but she'll be joining us online. I'm looking to my left to see if my online colleagues are ready for us to engage with the online speaker who will deliver her speech, and you'll have the opportunity to engage with the online. But before I call upon the next speaker, I think you all agree with me that there's a reason why we push for good governance. Organizations are successful because we have trust in the governance systems that they've embedded. And for that reason, I just want to acknowledge the next speaker, Ms. Sophia Kashita, the SASCAL board member, and we acknowledge the role they've been playing in terms of providing strategic directions for SASCAL to be a success. I understand. Oh, hello, ma'am. I'd been informed you'll be joining us online. Welcome to the podium, ma'am. I was going to go on with my praise without realizing you were here. The floor is yours.
Director of Ceremonies, Honorable Dr. Ida Kanji Murangi in absentia, Mrs. Jane Chinkusu, the SASCAL board chairperson, Dr. Svenja Kruse, SASCAL governing board alternate member from the Ministry of Education and Research, BMBF, Dr. Errol Naumap, Vice Chancellor of NAST, Dr. Jane Olwor, Executive Director of SASCAL, Dr. Anna Matruos, Chairperson of the SASCAL Academic and Scientific Advisory Committee, distinguished invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to make a statement at the official launch and scholarship handover ceremony of the SASCAL Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resource Management. Firstly, I would like to thank and congratulate SASCAL and NAST for organizing this event. The launch and scholarship handover ceremony of the SASCAL Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resource Management has come at an appropriate time, as the world, Africa, and our specific countries are now at the time of engaging into a high gear for the accelerated implementation of the Paris Agreement on Climate Change and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Director of Ceremonies, water resources form an integral part of the natural environment and remain a social and economic good whose quantity and quality determine the nature of its utilization. In Southern Africa region, and in Namibia in particular, water remains an important resource for sustainable development, and any water supply modification or variation are likely to have a severe implication on key economic sectors, particularly agriculture and the natural capital. Recent scientific studies have established that seasonal and interannual rainfall variation, climate change and vulnerability, drought, human footprint on the environment have modified water resources further, contributing to increased vulnerability of water systems in Southern Africa. Currently in Southern Africa, fresh water resources are estimated to an amount of approximately 2,300 cubic kilometers annually. However, this amount remains very unevenly distributed across low precipitation in arid areas and tropical zones in the regions. It is important to highlight that about 70% of this water comes from transboundary rivers, whereas the 30% is in lakes and groundwater. The majority of this annual water resource are used for agricultural irrigation. However, demand from the industrial sector is constantly growing, becoming its second largest consumer. Furthermore, the United Nations data indicates that 62% of the Southern African population have access to safe drinking water, with only 1 out of 3 people have access to adequate sanitation facilities. This is further worsened by the observed dwindling levels of surface water bodies and the increased water pollution. Director of Ceremonies, climate change impacts make it even more complex to safeguard and sustainably manage the scarce and unequal distributed water resources. In light of this, the SADC member states have agreed on the principle of shared and integrated water resource management through international conventions and regional protocols. However, it is concerning to notice that numerous regional basin-wide and national policies, strategies, and actions plan have been developed to this effect, but still not yet fully implemented. In addition, integrated approaches for the protection and sustainable use of water resources are not yet adequately established. This is largely attributed to a huge skill deficit in the field of integrated water resource management. Furthermore, the infrastructure deficit leaves many communities who are directly dependent on rainfall for their water needs in a delicate situation in terms of food, water, energy supply security, given the impact of climate variability and the resultant irregular rainfall patterns. Ladies and gentlemen, the establishment of the SGSP in integrated water resource management is key in enhancing capacity development in the field of water resource management and is expected to offset the skill shortages and at the same time contribute towards the realization of SADC and the Global Water Framework, as well as the SASCAL agenda. I was informed that this introduction of SGSP through capacity building will contribute towards ensuring water security in Namibia and beyond, enhancing resilience to climate change and water-related disaster risks, strengthening information system for water resource monitoring and assessment, and improving environmental integrity through water quantity management. It is hence evident that the SGSP is in line with Namibia's overall goals and strategic objective on integrated water resource management and climate change as stipulated in the government high-level policy documents. For this reason, the SGSP has received acclamation from the Office of the Vice President of Namibia, His Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, in his address during the inauguration of the NAST High-Tech Transfer Plaza Select. The Vice President pointed out the positive impact this commitment will bring into the Namibian human capital skill base for its capacity of creating potential top talent and competent workforce for the future. This is an indication that there are high expectations from this high and honorable office on the performance of this program. In the same vein, all SASCAL member states and the funder share the same expectation that I have referred to earlier. I would therefore like to urge both the academic professionals and the students that are attached to this program, particularly in this first intake, to ensure that it achieves its intended results. You are the pioneers of this program, and the onus is on you to set a high academic bar for this initiative, which will serve as a yardstick for future participants. Mediocre performance should not be permitted in this program, particularly in view of the fact that we plan to transform it into a center of excellence for the SADC region. Director of Ceremonies, currently in Southern Africa, there are various challenges that are affecting the assessment and management of water resources, especially from an IWRM point of view. One of the main challenges that is worth highlighting is the unavailability of adequate financial resources and equipment that are required to conduct empirical research, which in turn make data collection from the field to be sporadic. Therefore, it is envisaged that the SGSP will close some of these capacities in addressing water challenges. In addition, it will also, through research finding, contribute towards the development and planning of optimum water systems, detection of ecosystem changes, and determination associated implications, as well as studying of the impact of climate change, among others. In line with the commitments made under the Paris Declaration, the world, Africa, and our region are in the process of preparing themselves to embrace the new emission-free fuel, namely the green hydrogen, where water is again the center stage of this journey. I'm confident that this partnership that SASCAL has with Namibian University of Science and Technology through the SASCAL Graduate Study Program will provide another advantage to support the green hydrogen program in Namibia and in other SADC member states. Director of Ceremony, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to assure the meeting that Namibia, as a founding member of SASCAL, remain committed to this noble cause and therefore pledges its dedication towards the realization of the letter and the spirit of the Paris Agreement, and further reaffirms its commitment to attainment of the objectives of the SDGs in this context, Namibia, through the relevant government institutions, will support the SGSP as a center of excellence to offer solutions in water resources in terms of availability and quality. In addition, Namibia, through the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, which is SASCAL's line ministry in the country, will continue to provide the support needed for SASCAL to succeed in its program. I thank you.
Wow. I'm not sure if everyone picked on the commitments and the reassurance that we received from Ms. Kasheta. Ma'am, I salute you. Thank you so much for speaking and representing our country well. And yes, we call upon your support and we'll continue to come back to you for strategic guidance. We appreciate the leadership. Thank you very much. But before I move on to the next speaker, I just wanted to follow up on something she said. She made emphasis on water security. She made emphasis on the need for water quality and water quantity that is sufficient and adequate. And that is what we are hoping at the end of the day, our cohort of students will be able to contribute towards water security, not only for Namibia, but for the SASCAL countries and the region. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you will all agree with me that the Sustainable Development Goal number 17 is a unique SDG because it calls for a global partnership for sustainable development. It highlights the importance of global macroeconomic stability and the need to mobilize financial resources for developing countries from international sources, as well as through strengthened domestic capacities for revenue collection. It is with this brief background that I want to acknowledge and appreciate the role that the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, usually acronymed BMBF, has played in this space. The call was made and you responded, and for that we appreciate you. It is a great honor for me to call upon Dr. My apologies, Savannah Cruiser. I hope I did manage to pronounce it correctly. I'm inviting her to the podium as she represents the Ministry of Education and Research in Germany, the funders of the SGSP. Ma'am, we invite you.
Good afternoon. Honorable Council Chairperson of NUST, Ms. Nakusera, Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Naumap, Honorable Chair of the SASCAL Board, Mrs. Chinkuzu, Honorable Board Member of the Republic of Namibia of the SASCAL Governing Board, Mrs. Kasheta, Dear Executive Director of SASCA, Dr. Olbers, dear Mr. Curtin, from the International Center for Water Resources and Global Change, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, and of course, dear students. It's a great honor and pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research to this official launch of the new graduate program on the integrated water resource management of SASCA. You might be aware that 2022 is a special year in the history of SASCA. It is 10 years ago that this institution was founded and launched here in Windhoek. Unlike past research cooperation programs, we have jointly ventured to establish SASCA as an institution meant to prevail. It was founded to support research, capacity development, data management, and the provision of user-oriented climate services with a long-term perspective. The German Federal Ministry of Education and Research, BMBF, has stayed connected and committed ever since as main funding partner of SASCA. Over the past 10 years, SASCA has helped setting up and coordinating new integrated regional research activities. It has enhanced the visibility of science from the Southern African region, and it has stayed focused on those areas of climate change research which present some of the greatest challenges, including threats to food and water security. These are complicated challenges to resolve, and we need young and innovative minds to help finding viable solutions. This is one of the reasons why, together with our African partners in SASCA, we have decided to increase our efforts in the area of capacity building. We all know that investments into science and education are key to sustainable development. In that sense, BMBF is investing explicitly in the capacity development of the SASCA students. We will therefore fund the graduate school at NUST with more than 3 million euros. Knowledge in integrated water resource management is one of the absolutely essential fields of expertise needed. And you, dear students, you are starting today to become those experts in the future. I remember being very impressed when I learned about how water in the regional climate system of Southern Africa is recycled several times before it actually touches the soils of South Africa as rainfall, or as actually fails to do so, as we are sorely made to experience too often these days. And the rainfall patterns are changing. They become more variable and less reliable. The reasons are manifold. Some are linked to climate change and essentially caused elsewhere. Others are related to local or regional water resource management and land use practice. As we all know, water resources are shared in the region between Namibia and Angola, between Botswana and Namibia, and with Zambia and South Africa, which we need to preserve and to protect. And the availability of water resources in parts of South Africa also depends on land use patterns as far north as the Miombo woodlands in Zambia. These patterns are linked to livelihoods of people who are equally affected by a changing climate in an extensive way and may show little resilience or capacity to adapt. So one take-home message is a simple one. Regional problems require regional solutions through regional cooperation. Being from Europe, I may have the right to say, as trivial this may sound, as difficult it is to achieve. You, our students of today, you will be the graduates of 2025. You start your qualification at a time in history when our world is dealing with enormous challenges. But it is also a time where new opportunities are created by meeting those challenges. For example, you are all digital natives, born and educated in a world fully interconnected through digital media. You access your textbooks and news online. Your social networking has shrunk the known world, and you are better equipped than any generation before to take technologies of today to new dimensions. You will be the ones who are educated to bring solutions to environmental concerns and to propose new adaptive methods of conservation of natural resources. So for you, these challenges also come with great opportunities. Opportunities for those who know how to manage them and protect livelihoods or turn them to the better. We have understood there is a need for a new kind of capacities and expertise in the Southern African region. We try to respond to this quest by putting in place SASCAL with its research programs, infrastructures, and of course, its capacity building program. We hope that by giving you the chance in this program, SASCAL will open new horizons for you as innovative people from Southern Africa and offer you networks and opportunities and good prospects on the job market. Looking into your faces today makes me happy and hopeful. The funding of the BMBF can be a small contribution to make your dreams, wishes, and ambitions come true. Whatever direction you take in future, I guarantee that your world will change if you take seriously the courses, prepare on time your research work, and use your scientific visit in Germany to gain more skills and defend your thesis on time. Whatever you gain as qualification, I'm confident that you will also contribute to change our world. This is our hope and the motivation for our collaboration with SASCAL. So congratulations to all of you. I will travel back to Germany with great memories about what is happening with the means and support we are giving for the capacity building program in Africa. But before closing, I would like to thank the NUST for hosting the program, to thank all of you who supported the program so far, to thank the executive director and staff of SASCAL, as well as our SASCAL members for their excellent work and commitment, and for the overall excellent collaboration within these international research teams and scientific communities. I would especially like to wish all new SASCAL students a successful start. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your remarks. Colleagues, you'll agree with me that the COVID pandemic, changed the world as we know it. But one of the mechanisms that we're able to continue to operate and be functional was technology. And NUST has established technology partnerships and partnerships with industry. And for that reason, I want to acknowledge that MTC has been one of the main funders for the HTTPS. And for that reason, we're even proud to connect with our next speaker online. At this point in time, I would want to invite Mrs. Jane Chinkusu, the SASCAL board chairperson, to deliver her remarks online. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And greetings from Zambia. On behalf of the board, I wish to first of all thank the Namibian government for hosting this very important but necessary graduate launch. Let me observe all protocols as set before by the speakers who have spoken before me. For SASCO, this is a milestone. We want to say it has been a long journey, but we have seen it through. I want to thank NUST and SASCO, first and foremost, for launching this graduate school in the water resource management sector. From SASCO board, this is a very big success because as a region, we are having problems in the resource management due to climate change. The region has seen quite a number of events such as floods and also such as droughts. And therefore, building a capacity of human resource that are able to manage these calamities becomes very important. Water resource management is a cross-cutting issue. It doesn't affect only one country, but it affects us as a region. And therefore, having a graduate school that will service the region becomes a milestone. We need to critically think about how we are going to develop the critical mass of specialized and skilled people who can help us manage the risks that we are facing in the region because of climate change. I want to thank our partner, the German government, who have been financing the establishment of this graduate school. Without you, I think most of the things that we have been able to achieve would not have happened. But with you as our partner, we have seen that the graduate school has come to fruition. We want to thank you also that in your commitment, this is the first graduate school you have been able to help the region establish. To the Namibian government, we want to thank you from the board that you have been able to host the first graduate school in the region supported by SASCO. This graduate school entails a lot of things that you have been able to provide to the SASCO for it to be successful. Also that it will be hosting a lot of international students. We sincerely thank you for hosting this regional center of excellence. To the SASCO as a board, I want to thank you for your dedication, for your efforts, and for your contribution in seeing to it that we have been able to have this success which we are celebrating today. Now I go to the students that are receiving the scholarship today. I wish to encourage you from the board of SASCO that your countries, the partnering countries, have put in so much effort in order for you to go through this program. The idea is that once you have completed, you contribute to the development of the different countries where you're coming from. Therefore, from the SASCO board, we encourage you to work hard and make sure that you succeed in this program. I wish to thank you from the rural area of Zambia and wishing you all the best in this launch. Thank you very much.
They say MTC making the connection. I think now we see the value of establishing necessary connections and also partnering with IT partners to ensure that we continue to engage and collaborate. I think the message that continues to be echoed when I'm looking at the SGSP, our PhD fellows, is a call to action. The last speaker made reference to the need to adapt to climate change. And we are looking to this cohort of geniuses to give us solutions that will help our respective countries to adapt. It's either we adapt or we perish. With that note, I want to take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to invite Susie Isis, a saxophonist. I had to rehearse this word, a saxophonist, a saxophonist, a saxophonist. We invite you, madam, to make your presentation. While she's coming up to the podium, I would really want to just give her a bit of some praise. I had to take time to read about you, Susie, and you have made your presence known in the world, not just in Namibia. We are proud of your talent, and she's also an educator. Susie, welcome. We await your piece. I am sure you can all see that I'm just a fan. I'm blown away by your talent. Susie has shared the stage with you, Masekela. So for those who appreciate jazz music, you realize and appreciate how honored we are to have such talent amongst our midst. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us this long. At this point in time, I would want to invite the Chair of Council to present or to share the speech that was supposed to be delivered by Honorable Dr. Ita Kanji Murangi. For those who know her, she's the Minister of Higher Education, Technology, and Innovation in Namibia. She speaks of programs such as these, programs of innovation, of excellence, and our university is leading the path in partnership with BMBF, SASCL, and all the partners that are rallying behind. This program is a reflection of what she has called upon educators to do. So we are quite honored to have Ms. Florette Nakusera delivering the speech on her behalf. Ms. Florette is not only the Chair of Council, but also the Director of the Research and Financing Stability Department and Chief Economist of Bank of Namibia. Ma'am, we invite you to the floor. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I'm standing here on behalf of the minister, so when you hear me talking, it's not me talking, but it's the minister speaking. Just maybe a slight correction. There has been a change in my title as the Director of Ceremonies have introduced me. So it's yes, Chair of Council, but the other one is the Director of Financial Stability and Macroprudential Oversight and the Head of NDGA. So that is how it has changed in the meanwhile. Director of Ceremonies, Dr. Errol Naumap, NAST Vice Chancellor, Dr. Swenya Kruse, SASCAL's Governing Board Alternate Member, Ministry of Education and Research, Dr. Jane Olwatch, Executive Director of SASCAL, Mr. Harold Kotte, Director of International Center for Water Resources and Global Change, Ms. Sophia Kasheta, SASCAL's board member, Ms. Jane Chinkuzu, whom we have seen now online, SASCAL's board chairperson, members of the diplomatic corps, NAST executive management, media partners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm pleased to join you all for this momentous occasion, the official launch of the SASCAL Graduate Studies Program, which is the SGSP in Integrated Water Resource Management, in tandem with the awarding of scholarships. It is delightful to learn that SGSP is SASCAL's first center of excellence in the SADC region. I believe we can give that, because NAST is the one hosting it. And Namibia has been selected to pave the way for the thematic centers to follow. Equally important is that the SGSP's mandate expands beyond our borders and focuses on enhancing the capacity needs of the entire SADC region. It is through collaborative efforts such as these that we will propel the African continent to greater heights. Working in silos is not very helpful for our development efforts as a sub-region. I would therefore, from the onset, take this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to SASCAL through Germany's Federal Ministry of Education and Research, the BMBF, for injecting 40 million Namibian dollars worth of funding into this program. The latter bears testimony to the long-standing relations between the Federal Republic of Germany and the Republic of Namibia, which is growing from strength to strength. Just recently, Dr. Stefan Kaufmann, the BMBF Green Hydrogen Innovation Commissioner, visited Namibia to advance the implementation of the joint communique of intent signed between our two countries regarding cooperation in the field of energy and green hydrogen resources. The latter initiative is well aligned with the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2, which is the HPP2, a plan that contains a deliberate focus on Namibia's dynamic socio-economic recovery plan. Green hydrogen has been earmarked as one of the key components in Namibia's goals towards the attainment of zero emissions. Director of Ceremonies, the country's dry climate and unpredictable rainfall and resultant water challenges can only be addressed through a high degree of efficient water resources management. The country's overall long-term goal in integrated water resource management is to achieve a sustainable water resources management regime, contributing to social equity, economic efficiency, and environmental sustainability. As outlined in the SGSP Science Plan, the strategic directions of this graduate studies program stems from Goal 6 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which calls on member states to ensure availability, and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Sustainable access to water is a catalyst to the attainment of SDG 1, which is no poverty, SDG 2, which is zero hunger, SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, SDG 9, which is industry, innovation and infrastructure, SDG 13, which is climate action, and SDG 15, which is life on land. One of the key avenues to achieving the goals I just alluded to is through educating and capacitating people in the water sector, thereby responding to the need for adequate human resources in water management. Dear Council members and NAST management, I cannot overemphasize the importance of NAST in being the strategic agent for intellectual and technological transformation of the water sector. Hence, the need for NAST to continuously improve its curriculums, which are dealing with the water sector to comply with your 4IR stride. It is worth noting that the integrated water resource management programs that are being funded at the SGSP are of a multidisciplinary nature, covering doctoral studies in information and communication technology, natural resources, spatial sciences, and engineering. This allows for the management of this precious resource from various perspectives. Dear scholarship beneficiaries, remain cognizant of the fact that you are ambassadors of your countries and of the continent. Use your time at NAST to gain an arsenal of skills that will help you make a difference in your respective fields. It is my sincere hope that your studies contribute to enhancing the body of knowledge in the sector. Your research findings must inform policies and decision-making at national level and beyond. In the words of Willy Ley, who was a German-American science writer, ideas like large rivers never have just one source. Congratulations and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much for those remarks, ma'am. I think I just want to echo and emphasize the message she has also put through. And I'm looking at the SGSP, the first cohort, the first of this program. We are looking to you to drive the development of new tools and teaching methods, new approaches, new solutions. So I would really want to recognize a group of future leaders, the first of the SGSP, IWM PhD students. At this point in time in our agenda, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I would want to call upon Dr. Swenya Kruse, and I also want to call upon Dr. Jane Ulwerk for the official handover of scholarships. Today, we are not only acknowledging the students that are here present physically, but we are also acknowledging the students that are being drawn from the other countries and have not yet arrived in Namibia as yet. And you realize in the minister's speech, there was emphasis on multidisciplinarity, but we also pride ourselves in the regional integration that this program brings about. We are drawing students from Angola, from Botswana, from Namibia, from South Africa, from Zambia, all of them working towards solution, not just for their countries, but also for the SASCO countries and the region at large. The platform is yours.
most exciting part is here, right in front of us. Okay, so this is just gonna be very short. The procedure is that I read the name and the honorable student will come on stage and she will hand over the certificate to you. Are the instructions clear? Candidates, okay. Let me start with Maria Nelago. So, Maria Nelago is studying water and wastewater systems and technology. Tuwilika Nangobe, please come on stage. And Tuwilika is studying water security under climate change and environmental changes under computing. Faith Chihumbiri. And Faith is studying sustainable water, energy, and food security. Menare Mabakenge. Okay, and she's studying water security under climate and environmental changes under spatial sciences. Otladisa Tafila. And he's studying hydrology and geohydrology, spatial sciences. Catherine Trotlo. And Catherine is also studying hydrology and geohydrology under engineering. Mauricio Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much. It's an exciting moment for us all. But at this point in time, I'll just want to acknowledge the presence of the SRC President, Mr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips, if we can just recognize you and introduce you. There's the SRC President, and it would be nice for our new incoming PhD fellows to know and engage with the SRC President. Thank you. I would also want to acknowledge the NAS research community, academic and research community here present, because that's where we are drawing some of the supervisors, but we are also drawing support from supervisors from the SASCO countries, from the SADC region, as well as from Germany. So at this point in time, I'll just want to acknowledge and request our NAST academic and research community just to stand up, as they will be providing much needed support. Colleagues, please. I would also want to acknowledge, thank you, please you may sit down. I would want to acknowledge the Academic and Scientific Advisory Committee of the SASCO Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resources Management. They are the strategic, providing strategic direction for this program. Colleagues, if you could just stand briefly. This was a deliberate move. Thank you, colleagues. You may take a seat. This was a deliberate move to show the triangle that will make or break the success of this initiative, because a program on its own will not achieve or deliver results. This is the collective effort that will actually deliver the results. I would also just want to take this moment to invite the students here present to come back forward. And at this point in time, I'll call upon the NAS Registrar and Commissioner of Oaths, Professor Sifiso Nyati, will actually, together with our students, guide the student oath. Please come forward, colleagues. I still call you colleagues because as PhDs, there's a lot of independent thinking and working that happens. So please, come forward. Thank you.
Colleagues, thank you very much. Chairperson of Council, Vice Chancellor, sir, by the powers vested in me as the NAST Registrar and Commissioner of Oaths, I hereby request the first ever SASCO Graduate Studies Program scholarship holders in the Integrated Water Resources Management and Academic cohort to join me in front, just the next stair. The next stair, yes. What will be happening here is that we'll be doing an act of dedication and commitment to oath in the presence of all the witnesses in front of you and the entire public. I request that you stand and look at the people with the seriousness it deserves, because right now we are going to recite an oath. Now I don't want you to just parrot what I'm saying. I want you to say it in earnest, sincerity. I'm not sure whether the mask is going to help in showing that you are serious. Okay, after the recital of the oath, I'm a believer in God, so I will ask you to say, "So help me God." If you believe in God, you say so, right? If you believe if you're a Muslim, you can say, "So help me Allah." If you're Baha'u'llah, I don't know what you should say, but if you're an atheist, you can say, "So I affirm." Okay? Now repeat after me. By joining the doctoral students community of the Namibia University of Science and Technology, I do solemnly vow to persistently acquire knowledge and skills and exercise my mind and character for creative and responsible research career, to abide by the rules and regulations of studies, the principles of coexistence, and academic tradition, to uphold the values of visibility, collaboration within diversity, research excellence, and impact of the SASCO Graduate Studies Program on integrated water resources management, and to conduct myself decently and honestly, and to bear in mind the good name of the Namibia University of Science and Technology. So help me God. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, ladies and gentlemen, I now confess that the candidates in front of you are now bona fide NAST students, and they will not breach the social and academic contract they have just committed themselves to. Thank you very much. You may sit.
Professor Nyati, thank you so much. In as much as we've seen the 7 that were up front, I think it's quite important for us to acknowledge that the sponsorship has been extended to 15 students. And for that reason, I'm going to invite Dr. Swanya Cruiser to announce those that are being awarded scholarships in absentia. Thank you.
Yeah, hello to the ones being present online and unfortunately cannot be here. So therefore, I would just like to read out the scholarship holders who unfortunately cannot be here. This is, please excuse my pronunciation, so I hope I do it right. Shiamba Kanivete, doing a PhD on the topics strategy for the implementation of building information modeling in the integrated water resources management in Angola. Offense Musiki, doing a PhD on the topic assessment of agricultural water management of the selected commonly cultivated crops in Namibia. Mwembe Vendo from Zambia, doing a PhD on integrated SWOT mud flow model for securing future groundwater resources in the face of uncertainty and change. Sydney Sishilima, doing a PhD on the assessment of water security using rainfall runoff models on Zambezi River Basin, a case of Upper Zambezi River Basin. And finally, Shafika Firi, doing a PhD on the impact of land cover changes on water budget in Kafu.
Anna Matros Goresis, the SASCO Graduate Studies Program in Integrated Water Resources Management Academic and Scientific Advisory Committee Chair, who also is the Executive Director for the Directorate of Research, Innovation, and Partnerships. She's hands-on, I'm sure you've seen her. And I really want to introduce her so that she can lead us with the closing remarks. And thereafter, I would invite the saxophonist. Yes, I got it right. The saxophonist, Miss Susie Aces, to then thereafter come and give us a piece. as we will be led to the refreshments, the networking, but also to the actual official cutting of the ribbon. So I'm not coming back to the podium. I'm now handing over to the Executive Director, Dr. Anna Matros-Koresis. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I cannot express my joy enough for standing here in front of you today. It's been a long road for us. Before I do my official note of gratitude to a list of people that made this event possible, but also the entire program possible, allow me on behalf of the ASEC members to just ask you to take a few moments of silence on behalf of one of our ASEC members, Dr. Obakeng Setamo. He was a SASCAL staff member. He was also our founding ASEC member representing SASCAL on the ASEC. We lost him last year, December. And we just want to recognize his presence and his guidance on the ASEC, yes, until his untimely death. So just a quick moment of silence in remembrance of his. Thank you very much. So, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stand on the premise of the protocol that was already set. I'm following suit of our council chair, as they say, follow the leaders. Thank you very much once again for gracing us with your presence, both physical and virtual. We sincerely appreciate it. And when I say we, I would like to say that at NAST, ASEC, SASCAL, we are together. We are one family. And so when I talk about we, I would like you to think about that and remembering that we came a long way. You will notice the banner behind me. SASCAL is celebrating wonderful years of existence, and this year is also that time where we are looking back and looking at the achievements, what they have done over the years. And so I would like to then acknowledge our Namibian government, first and foremost, for having the foresight to partner with our federal Republic of Germany, and also then acknowledging the historic relations that we have. And I think we started, actually it says 2012, but we started in 2010 already. And Professor Ananu and his team from DLR are here, where the starting blocks have been set. I just wanted to bring that context in so that we know that this is a huge initiative. It's not something that is starting now and ending now. So for that long-term partnership, I would like to say thank you very much to SASCAL, first and foremost, through the support of the Federal Ministry of Education and Research, BMBF, and DLR is the agency that is then supporting BMBF to implement this particular project. And I see a professor smiling here in front of us because he's been in the driving seat, but also acknowledging that there is a West African partnership, the WASCAL, that also has been in the forefront of setting up graduate studies programs. And in SASCAL, we at NAST are very fortunate to be hosting the first of its kind. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, our students, very happy to see you finally face to face. Thank you so much for taking that leap of faith. I understand that it is excitement that is running through your veins right now. Just like with us, you must understand that you have joined not just a program, you have joined a family, you have joined an initiative of excellence, quality, diversity, collaboration, and finally, what we are all striving for is impact. So, just to reiterate that the oath that you read just now is not just an exercise, we are going to hold you accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, as ASAC chair, I will not do justice to my team if I don't acknowledge the support, the input that ASAC has put into it. Dr. Olwak already indicated that the ASAC really worked tirelessly to pull this off. And there's a lot of background work that needs to happen to particularly set a scientific framework under which we have to operate. And for that, I would like to ask ASAC members, please, if you can just stand, just to acknowledge the presence of our ASAC team. And as indicated before, we have representatives from various countries. Zambia, if you just do a little wave. Thank you. Botswana, Angola, South Africa, Germany, and the regional network, WaterNet, is then represented by Professor Onima. Thank you so much, ASAC members. I needed to let them stand so that the colleagues, the students also understand that there is a support network that is not just virtually, where we are really guiding the success of the scientific and academic part of the program, but also in the respective countries, as much as we have SASCAL nodes in the respective countries as well. Then finally, ladies and gentlemen, I would really like to acknowledge and express my gratitude to the academic society at NUST that is willing to walk this path with us. And that is our supervisors. We have a few with us in the room. If I can just ask you to also stand up. We know the supervisors of the students that we have, the few that we have on board. Thank you so much. So that I can also just, our UNESCO Water Chair, please. Dr. Amwele, it is important that you also stand so that we can see. We also have, as the VC acknowledged in his opening remarks, we have our UNESCO Water Chair. And so that is Dr. Amwele. And I believe I've seen your name also on the list for a supervisor. I just want to indicate the faculty so that you understand that it is an interdisciplinary supervisory team that we have put together for the students. Faculty of Computing and Informatics, Faculty of Natural Resources, Faculty of Engineering and Spatial Sciences. I'm not, thank you very much, Executive Dean. Then we've got the Faculty of Health, Applied Sciences, and Natural Resources. Executive Dean is also here, thank you very much. And the colleagues at the back, and then of course our Faculty of Commerce, Education, and Tibet. Executive Dean is there, and our professor is also there. Thank you so much. I just needed to also bring that to the fore so that we understand that after this, we are going to network and we know who to talk to and how we can do that. I'm about to close, ladies and gentlemen. I know it is hot. I can see it's not easy to be sitting in this heat, but this is the reality of Namibia. This is why we have a graduate studies program on integrated water resources management. So I needed just to indicate that the realities are there for us. Oh, and I see also our CFO from NEM Water is here. Thank you very much for the support. And we are very forward-thinking, Dr. Cruiser, for the Chief Financial Officer to actually come in person to see how NemWater can support this particular program. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this event today could not have happened without the Secretariat. Both, when I say Secretariat, we've got the SASCAL Secretariat, the regional office, and we've got the SGSP Secretariat. And I would really like to acknowledge the effort, the blood, the sweat, the sleepless nights to pull this off. Also the colleagues, if they can just stand up so that we can really give them a round of applause. And the SASCA Regional Secretariat, where are the team? Thank you. I know there's a whole team behind the scenes. Thank you very much. We really appreciate all your efforts. Sometimes it doesn't look like that. We want things to happen overnight, and we forget that there are actual humans behind there. But job well done. Thank you so much. Last but not least, I would really like to acknowledge also, before I do that last but not least part, allow me to introduce our postdoc fellow. We have a postdoctoral fellow that is also going to be supporting the PhD students, Dr. Mapuko, if you can just stand up. Thank you very much. She will be very instrumental, together with another colleague who is still in the recruitment process, to support the students and also the professional chairs that are still to be appointed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to close. I would like to acknowledge the NAST management, the leadership, the guidance, the understanding, the patience, for setting up a program that has never been done before. So for allowing us to constantly come back and ask for additional HDC meetings, additional considerations, it is really appreciated. VC and the EXCO members present here. Also, in particular, I need to mention, because our procurement team has been working very hard, DVC Finance and Operations, to make a lot of what we needed to do in a short time possible. So I really needed to then just acknowledge the effort that was put into there. And of course, our marketing team is part of the NAST support that we have. I would like to also acknowledge them. Other than that, the logistics teams that are here, great job. Kesa Media, thank you very much. And also, of course, as I'm ending, I would then also just like Dr. Cruiser to join me, the scissors please, to finally open this SGSP wing for you to then, after I say my thank yous, I believe that will be the end of our session today. For Dr. Cruiser, on behalf of BMBF and the SASCAL board, to officially open the SGSP wing. And then it is open for you to view. We can mingle while we have the excellent music of Susie Aces and the guitarist to then help us and enjoy the networking session. Thank you so much to all of you being here, and also our council members. I see the support and the guidance, very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Dr. Cruiser. And I will ask that some colleagues can line up from here just to view the ribbon cutting. And also from this side, so that we can just spread out to be able to view that. And as I'm looking behind me, I see a very crucial partner as part of our HTTPS. I'm sure the VC has gone into lengths of explaining the initiative that we are trying to create, this technologically inspired ecosystem. If I can ask the Managing Director of MTC, Dr. Licky Erastus, he He actually did not take the punch of sitting in the heat. I see him looking for some cooling at the back. Dr. Erastus, we appreciate the partnership that we have with MTC as part of this particular ecosystem. MTC and NAST is coming also a very long way. MTC has also been very instrumental in supporting master's PhD programs within the Faculty of Computing and Informatics, but also they have been at the national level being the leaders of driving the digitalization agenda. So with that, we are very proud to be partners with them, to be able to do what we are doing best as the University of Science and Technology. I don't want to waste any further time. Colleagues, if you can join us, if you can line up on the side, from this side and this side, to view. Yes, sir. From that side and this side, thank you very much. Also from that side. ASEC members, please, this is a very crucial moment. If you can be very close to our donors, Professor Ananu. Dr. Licky Erastus, can you join our BC2B? We are holding the scissors together and we are cutting it together, as the African proverb says. Oh, technology, eh? Okay, so don't worry, we are here already. Some of you can just view on the TV. So as the African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. With that, thank you very much. Dr. Cruiser, you've got hands to support you to cutting the ribbon. Let us gather for a photo. This is a momentous occasion. Photo in front of the banner. Just here, I see our executive team is already strategically positioned. I will hand over to our marketing team to just guide the people how they should stand for the picture. Nadia? Yeah. Can we have Council Chair Dr. Nauma? Shall we then just line up in front of on the stage? It might be better. The students will have a separate. Yeah, we'll do a group picture now and then we have separate pictures. Can we just have a quick group photo and then SGSP is open for business? Colleagues, line up on the stage, please. Dr. Nauma, Dr. Erastus, Professor Yati. We are lining up for a group photo. Please, Ms. Tukua. Let us be part of history in the making. Our students. SRC President, please. Can we line up, colleagues? I know it's interesting to have these discussions. We can be here all day. 5 minutes to make history. Dr. Nikondo, our DVC Academic Affairs, thank you very much. Please, can we have everybody? Professor Musiarira, you want to see if I can pronounce your surname now? Can we please gather? Ms. France, council member, can we please be in the picture? I'm going to call out everybody that is not adhering to protocol. Marketing, can you guide who should move? We all know our advantages of being vertically gifted. Marketing, Pandu, Kevin, what are we doing? We are part of the house, so we are not in pictures. You are seen? SGSP director, acting, can you be seen, please? You know your advantage of being vertically gifted. We do one last one, we say SGSP, IWRM together. Let's go. Nobody? No, let's do water for all, forever. Thank you very much. Please, Ms. Aces will entertain us while we are networking. Please visit our SGSP, see where the students will be sitting. Networking, please. Don't forget to visit our SGSP, where the students are sitting. Marketing, I would need some focused pictures at the banners. Marketing, I would need all the students to come to the banner, including our SRC president, Nadia Mendy. Nadia, please. And then, just before the music starts, after the students take the picture, I would like the donor to come and stand with the students. We will then... Oh, okay. Can we have the students, SGSP, PhD candidates, with the SRC president, with the donor, with the NAST Exco. SGSP, PhD candidates, we are looking at your oath that you have said, and I'm not seeing any reaction. Royal Maba King, doctor in the making. Can we gather for the picture, please? We need to listen to Susie Aces. Please. You need me to call people on names. Antonio. Nadia? Nadia, can we have them at the banner now? It's just a small group. Mutula, you should stand. At the banner, please. Donors. Dr. Cruiser? Dr. Cruiser? Jane? With the students? Yes. ASEC members, please release the students. The excitement is too much.
Okay, the new PhD students, can I please take a picture with you on stage? Now. Where are they?
Yeah, the Angolans ones now, they are talking, I don't know what's happening.
I think let's leave it.
No, we have to take, we will never have a chance to do it again. What's going on? Yeah. Please. Secretariat, can we get the students here now? All the students. Yes, here we have a student. Please line up here. Marketing, let's guide. Thank you very much. We have 7 students and we need to count.